weekend. Yes, guys, we are having Monday off. For those who didn't know yet, we have Memorial Day in the US, and therefore stocks gonna be traded the last time for this week, and next week we will have a short week. And before the market opened, we had a very controversial topic, and stock just opened for earnings trading, right? There is just some, let's say, little bit of tension between the US and China. Again, as we know, Trump loves to put new guidelines between those countries, and there's now a new back and forth between those countries in terms of, specifically in terms of stock trading. So there were some bills introduced in the politics of the US that want that China has the same accounting rules as US companies, especially when they trading here in the US. So this is a big, let's say, roar in the community or in the finance industry, because it's like another piece of against China bit in politics when we are into very uncertain times. And question is it the right time? Is it the right move by the US to do this kind of things? However, we know also on the other side that it's sometimes necessary to control those kind of Chinese companies, because I don't know if you have seen China Hustle on Netflix. Watch this documentary. It shows you how some stocks on the Chinese stocks on the US market was basically just shell companies and got billions and billions of dollars while they not even existed in China. And recently we had the big scandal with Luckin Coffee, right, with the accounting fraud. So you see that there is some reasons to be concerned, and the question is, and that's I think a topic between shareholders of Baba and non-shareholders of Baba, that some people might say, hey, Baba is supported by the government and the numbers are fake and whatsoever. And then on the bull side of the Alibaba shareholders, you have those who say, hey, guys, that we are talking about the Amazon of China, right? And it's a very, very strong growth company, and it's in the middle of the growth soil. China so many years benefited from the digitalization of China and Asia, and also obviously by the growth of China. But let's have a look. So the earnings were just presented, and Alibaba soared on the earnings because it had an 22 year-over-year growth in revenue, guys. This is huge, because why this is huge, because just the size of the company. We will go now into some numbers that are just unbelievable, guys. Okay, so we have here non-GAAP EPS is $1.3, easily beating the consensus estimate of 0.44, actually almost triple, right? A 7% year-over-year growth in EPS. Then the GAAP EPS of 16 beat the street expectation of 4 cents. Guys, this is 4 times as high, okay? Revenue of 16.14 billion US dollars, guys. This is insane. Though, obviously this number is not so big. How Amazon was, I think, at 75 billion. So still a long way to go to reach those numbers of Amazon. But still, I can imagine that at one point soon they will definitely, can grow to those numbers maybe as well, right? Alibaba is always expanding. They also expanded into the cloud business, same as Amazon did. And, those obviously are the pillars of further growth for this company. Now, this was topping the estimates by $860 million. And obviously they said, the current health situation, obviously on one point helped the company to grow the digitalization. On the other side, obviously it's also impacted lots and lots of sellers in China. And however, and now comes the huge milestone for the company. They achieved $1 trillion in gross merchandise value across our digital economy this fiscal year. So within 1 year, they sold $1 trillion of merchandise. This is an unbelievable number, guys, and to be honest, I also I actually used a couple of times Alibaba Express, which is basically the small quantity purchase of items from China, from Chinese merchant, right? And it was great. I got my product. It was super cheap. The quality is what you paid for. Obviously, if you go for a very expensive gift or expensive item, then you can get quality on the other side. If you're looking for something very, very dirt cheap, then there's also that available on Alibaba, right? It's basically the China brought to the internet. And I think that this is just such an unbelievable growth story and success story. Was what Jack Ma, the founder and CEO, back then did. And unfortunately, he's out of the company because he said that he rather die on the beach than in the office. He, obviously is a multi-billionaire and enjoying now maybe his wealth. He also recently resigned from the SoftBank board. So I don't know if he just completely want to enjoy life or it's just, because of some other business connections. However, this was obviously, or this is basically just in the middle of the US and China, or the revived US and China tension. So we should follow this closely. What also was pretty good in the Alibaba earnings, that they give a promising outlook, right? So they said, although the negative impact most of our domestic core commerce businesses starting in late January, we have seen a steady recovery since March. Based on our current view of Chinese domestic consumption and enterprise digitalization, we expect to generate over 650 billion in revenue in fiscal 2021. So all in all, it's a great earnings. The stock is a little bit up now. Just my personal 2 cents, because I see this question always in the community. Hey, if you talk about the stock, is it for you a buy or not? My personal strategy is to, and you will see that I'm focusing this more and more now after the crisis, that I want to be very selective in my stocks. Okay, I just want to own like 2, 3, 4 stocks in the future in my portfolio. High growth, high convicting choices that I did. I know there's a lot of people saying, you need to diversify your portfolio, but think about Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. They grew their value and net worth by 3, 4 stocks. Even Peter Lynch, one of the most successful hedge fund managers, say, as less you can follow very closely, it's better than following just 30 companies in your portfolio, just here and there once. It's very important to choose and handpick those stocks and really follow them very closely, and then you can make very, very, very good investment decision. And this is what I'm doing. And Alibaba, until now, it can always change, and this is what I want to teach here on this channel as well. Always think, revisit things. Make a list, guys, of 20, 30 interesting stocks for you, and revisit them from time to time. This was for me as well. I was not interested into Beyond Meat because the stock just raised to crazy amounts of $200 per stock, right? And I said, this is crazy. But then it went down. I looked into the company more closely. I looked into 2, 3 earnings report, and I thought, this is a great opportunity. Now they get even more exposure through the crisis, and don't ever forget, innovating companies thrive through crises. And therefore, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to thumb up. As always, I'm super happy that you switched by, and I see you later for some more content here on Wolf of Dubai.